Hello, everyone, and welcome to DandD News. This is the first D&D news of 2020. Isn't that crazy? I think it's a little bit momentous. That's the word I'm looking for. By the way, this is definitely not a phylactery that I'm drinking from. We got to talk to Washington State Senator Steve Hobbs on using some D&D lich art there. But he made this mug. It's very cool. It says, in case you can't read the fine print under here, it says, however, if you break this phylactery, crossed out, mug, I will hunt you down across the multiverse and destroy you. And I think that's very true. How you guys doing? It's very good to see you. I am excited to be back in the office, making everything fun and exciting for Dungeons and Dragons fans out there. I've missed you. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done some Dungeons and Dragons news, but there's been a lot. There's been a lot that's been coming out that I want to update you on. We'll go over some things that are in the press, some announcements we've made, some announcements we're going to make. I will unbox some things. You may see the contents of Laryl Silverhands. She's got silver hands. Explorer's kit here. It's got dice as well as amazing fun stuff for the Forgotten Realms fan in your life. I will also be showing off some stuff you may have seen before, but in different ways. We'll talk more about these things. We'll talk more about this. What? And then check out these fun things that we might be talking about later, too. I am excited. Did I say that? I think I said that already. How are you all doing? What's going on, everyone, here in chat? I see Alwarius. Hi, Alwarius. Hello, Dustin Fletcher. How's it going? Ashley. How goes it? Obo. And Akeisha. And Salvacion de Charisma. Good to see you. Jack, always a pleasure. I like that we've got our own little fun community of folks that like to check in for this hour as we go through what's happening in the D&D world, show some sneak peeks, and then hopefully when we start, I love that I hold this mug here like it's a threat, like I'm about to do something with it. Yeah, I am about to, as soon as I stop talking. We are going to talk... as I said, we talked through this hour, getting ready for D&D Presents, which will be the show that will be running at 4 p.m. Pacific times in this time slot. We're very excited to have that happen in the next few months. No exact release date ready for that, but we are planning and making everything good to go. You saw a lot of the characters being discussed at PAX Unplugged at the end of last year. If you haven't seen that, I would suggest checking out the amazing video of the panel that was held by our friends at Penny Arcade at PAX Unplugged with Chris Perkins and the cast introducing themselves, if you didn't know them already, as well as get some input on the characters that they will be playing for D&D Presents. We're really excited about it, and we'll be kicking it off very soon, so can't wait for that. For those of you who may not know, we created some new D&D t-shirts. These are giveaways, not available anywhere else, so don't be jealous. But this one is this is my favorite. We did 4 designs. This one is by far my favorite. I like a yellow shirt. Not many people do like a yellow shirt. In fact, there's someone here on the D&D team who said no one looks good in a yellow t-shirt. I think that's true. I don't think I look very good either. But someone out there may look good. I love the retro feel of it. It's pretty fun. It's one of my favorites. So, yes, Fletcher, hopefully maybe that shows up in DandD Rewind. We're seeing your yellow shirt on Sunday from D4. Very cool. But now UK, you don't like yellow. Yeah, see, I use one of my punk bands I was going to make, even though I don't know how to play a musical instrument or sing, which you don't need to do for a punk band. But it was going to be called The New Color Yellow, because no one really likes yellow. But since then I've grown to really be fond of yellow and maybe even gold, as this color could be described. But I will get to talking about what's going on for Dungeons and Dragons. I'll get the products out of the way. They've been out there for a while, but I want to make sure you all are having a good time playing Eberron, Rising from the Last War. It is a huge source book all about the continent of Corvair after it has emerged from a 100 years long war. Eberron is a little bit different than standard fantasy in that technology is represented as magic. So there are lightning trains that allow fast traversal for commoners as well as the elites. There are airships using elementals to propel them. There is all types of fun and interesting low-level magic that is available to people, and therefore the themes of Eberron are a lot more of a early 20th century feel rather than the late or early Renaissance or late medieval period that a lot of fantasy focuses on. So there's a lot of great stuff in there. If you haven't picked it up, I suggest you jump into the Adventurers League adventures that are coming out for this adventure. The product itself is not necessarily an adventure, so there's lots of ancillary content that you can create within it, but it has lots of guides for you to make great stuff. I've talked about it a lot before, but I just want to make sure everyone is interested in it. There's also 2 great shows that you can watch right now that are really interesting. One has got a very special guest tonight. I'm talking about Sorry, no, that's not what it's called. It's called Droam and Defiance Wrestling at the Hyper RPG channel on Twitch. This is basically taking a Dungeons and Dragons live play show, but mashing it up with professional wrestling, otherwise known as sports entertainment. The characters and actors portraying all of the roles in DandDW are also monsters and wonderful performers in their own right. And tonight, there is a special guest star, Mr. I think it's Brian Cutler, right? Brian Cutler? No. Dun, da, 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 da. It is an amazing wrestler. You might have seen him. I think I even talked about it here. Brandon, thank you. I was waiting for someone in chat to save me. Brandon. You may have seen him as part of his communication with a heel character in his wrestling league, saying he likes Dungeons and Dragons, and he is going to be a guest star on tonight's program on the Hyper RPG channel. We'll be hosting it here on DandD Twitch, so check it out. 7 p.m. tonight. It is going to be a raucous amazingness happening there. If you haven't seen any of the promotional stuff that they are doing on the Hyper RPG Twitter, you should check it out because it's modeled a lot like the promos for wrestling, in which they are directly at the camera, not unlike myself, calling out the characters as they are going to make it happen. So it's interesting, and I love the take on Dungeons and Dragons in a early modern setting with wrestling at the forefront. So pretty cool. There might even be some other fun guest stars coming down for future episodes of that. I'll let you ponder. They may have been guests on previous Dungeons and Dragons shows. That's the only hint I'm going to tell you. All right. The other product I want to make sure you guys are aware of, because before we'll get out of here, we'll be talking about even more stuff. But the Dungeons and Dragons versus Rick and Morty tabletop role-playing game and adventure is available everywhere. It's got everything you need in it to play Dungeons and Dragons. It mashes up D&D with the Rick and Morty universe together into one cohesive whole. Did any of you guys play it over the amazing break that we might have had? Hopefully you got a break, number one. Number two, did you play it with anybody who was a fan of the Rick and Morty show, as well as that there? Only Play Wizard says you bought it for my niece, but did she actually play it yet? That's the important thing. I can't wait to find out more about that. Everything that I've heard about it, people have been really, really been enjoying it. I just can't wait to hear. So if you want to sound out in the chat on how your experience has been with it, let me know. But that's out there now, and we are getting excited about everything that's coming up for the future. But before I do that, I do want to also go through one thing that we did say last time, but want to make sure you are aware. This is Infernal Tides, a Dungeons & Dragons comic book written by Jim Zub with artwork by Max Dunbar, and it is fantabulous. Some of the best artwork portraying the hellish themes within Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus that I've ever seen. Max Dunbar is a fantastic artist. This is one of my favorite panels here with the blood war being dramatized there with devils versus demons. It's not too often you see legions of chaotic demons battling the devils on their own world of Avernus, but there it is, and it's really great, and you see a lot of these characters come to life in really fantastic ways. Minsk and Boo of Baldur's Gate fan draw a new party around themselves, and it continues their adventures through Baldur's Gate and into the first layer of hell. This is issue 1. It's been out for a little while, so you may not be able to find it in stores, but I hope you do. So go in and to your local comic book shop. If they don't have it, please request a copy and get it going. I can't wait to see where this series ends up because it is fantastic so far. All right, so many of you may be excited about the announcement we made yesterday. It is, you're not the only one. There are lots of people who are excited about this, and I'll start with some of our friends in the press who are talking about it. Here is an article from GameSpot. The new Dungeons & Dragons accessory is more than just pretty looking dice, and that is true. This is Laeral Silverhand's Explorer's Kit, and the call-out text here says, give your game and character some help with that oh-so-important flavor text, and I couldn't agree more. This is it right here. This is Laeral Silverhand's Explorer's Kit. I thought I was going to look for a mock-up. I'm like, I know we have a mock-up somewhere in here, but no, this is the actual... This is it. This is the packaging. This is what you're going to get on March 17th, or at least it's going to be available in stores on March 17th. You might notice it looks very similar to the packaging for the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus dice set. Everyone really, really responded incredibly well to how that set was put together. And so I want to show you, this one was designed to be a little bit more evergreen. It's not tied to a specific D&D campaign, but if you're a fan of the Forgotten Realms, this will have tons of information and be perfect for bringing into your thing. So again, it's got this kind of open plastic set. It comes with 11 dice. I'm going to take off this plastic right here, and this is how the dice look. Look at that. Beauteous, eh? Beauteous. 2 D20s, both of which, of course, have the ampersand there. We've got the D10s in different digits, blue and delicious. I don't want to take each of them out. You guys know how dice work, but this D6 shows off really well. Hopefully you can see it well on the camera, but it's got like a milky, silvery feel to the blue in the dice. And this is some of the best parts. So inside, it's a beautiful design for the box. This box is, not only does it make it portable for you to be able to take your dice wherever you want to go, but it also doubles as 2 dice trays. That's right. So you can roll your dice in this. It's got a nice felt bottom. On this side, same dealio. Got a nice felt bottom. And now here I am also taking out the dice. You want to hear how it goes? Yes! What did I get? A 10 and a 9. Ready? One more time. Let's see if I can roll with advantage here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's kind of hard to show you. Oh, I did! I got a nat 20! Woo! These dice are going to be my new favorites because they taste like mint spearmint. That's really good. That's really good. They don't really taste like mint spearmint. Sorry. No, I'm just a liar. I'm a liar. But they also do fit very well. That's good. Oh, or not. Maybe I need to do that with a D4. Sorry, Dustin. Oh, no, it doesn't fit. Sorry. Really wanted to, so never mind. That's a terrible product. You should not buy it. It's got awful boogers on them, and you don't want them. But I didn't even show you the best part yet. So wait 1 second. I got the best part coming your way. Jack, stop it! You can't ban me. I'm in charge. So here is what's some of the fun. There's all these. Looks like there is 15 to 20 different cards with lore about areas within the Forgotten Realms. This one's on Icewind Dale with a very awesome image of what Icewind Dale looks like. I'm not gonna lie. This image is actually in one of the conference rooms here at Wizards of the Coast, and I had no idea it was Icewind Dale until just now. The conference room that this artwork is in is called Rivendell. So I just always assumed it was someone's weird interpretation of Rivendell, but no, it's actually Icewind Dale. What is in that conference room named Icewind Dale? I'll never know, but that's really awesome. I didn't know that. That's great. Here's a little bit about Waterdeep. You might remember this from Waterdeep Dragon Heist, that piece of art, and it's got, kind of a lore about it there. Here's something more about Port Nyanzaru, one of my favorite pieces of art from Tomb of Annihilation, detailed there. Here is a bit on Neverwinter. You always want to know more about Candlekeep. Here it is, Candlekeep. Here is Baldur's Gate. Really cool. This image is, of course, you might have seen in the trailer for Baldur's Gate 3 from our friends at Larian. And then there's some information on some of the major characters from Waterdeep, including the Xanathar, Mert, Vajra, the Blackstaff. Who's this guy? Oh, right. That's Drist. Dordan. Lord Daggle Neverember. Nobody likes this guy. He's kind of a douche. But he did also make the horde that's in Waterdeep Dragon Heist part of it. Mr. Jarlaxle is there as well. The Black Cloak Hallister. Grand Duke Older Ravengard from Baldur's Gate. Here's a little blurb about what he says back here. It says, I always admire those who put aside their comforts for the greater good. Older Ravengard has no love of dealing with the conniving scum that flourishes in the high halls of Baldur's Gate, yet he sacrificed a comfortable retirement as a former leader of the Flaming Fist mercenaries for a life in politics, all for the good of Baldur's Gate and its citizens. And then it finishes up with, Baldur's Gate is a powder keg, and who can say how long older Ravengard can keep it from igniting? I don't know either, but it's going to happen. There's stuff on Durnan, owner of the Yawning Portal. Some more on the Cult of the Dead 3 for Baldur's Gate. The Zentarum. What about them? I don't know. More about the Harpers, one of the great factions. And then Laeral Silverhand herself has a blurb. My name is Anna Manue Laeral Silverhand. I was the fifth born of 7 sisters to the goddess Mystra. Well, she's also the open lord of Waterdeep. So that's really good to know. And it comes with a note from Laeral Silverhand herself. But one of the coolest things too is it comes with a pull-out map. It's not even a pull-out. It's an actual fold-out map with 2 sides. One has the entirety of the Sword Coast on it, so many of the locations that I just mentioned are on here. It is, here's Waterdeep, here's Baldur's Gate, there's Candlekeep down there, and then it also has Waterdeep in all of its glory here. This is a version of the map that was included within Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So there you have it. That's everything that's in here. These are great clues to provide to your players if for whatever reason they're like, we don't know anything about this, and they roll high on their history check. instead of just expounding to them what they know about that object or that area, you might just hand them one of these cards as a successful roll, right? And I love that. I love that they're in-world. It looks like many of the... I'm never going to get these back in the right place right now, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Many of the... what was I talking about? Many of the things that you'll encounter in playing through D&D Adventures can do that, and I love that you can give them something that's in-world and tangible, and the descriptions of there are written as in-world from, it looks like the hand of Laeral Silverhand herself. The Laeral Silverhand. It's in her hand. Get it? So again, those come out on March 17th. Looking very exciting. We had a few press mention how cool they thought they were. Here is what Bleeding Cool says. Dungeons & Dragons reveal Laeral Silverhand's Explorer's Kit, and it's more. It's more than just a set of dice, people. It is. As well as our friends at another piece of press that I want to make sure, as I mentioned, Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty. Here is an awesome interview with Kate Welch, who was the lead designer on Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty. One of the pull-out quotes here is, "This starter set makes it easy to dive right in to tabletop gaming." And that is very true. It is one of the most accessible box sets that we have there, and it gets everybody involved. I'm just noticing some of the coolest parts of this box from Laeral Silverhands. Jumping back to that. Greatest heroes, foulest villains. Lost civilizations, ancient mysteries. Cool little blurbs there for everyone to remember when they're playing Dungeons & Dragons, because I think that's very important. All right. One other thing that we announced at the end of 2019, but I wanted to show off to you, is Dungeon Mayhem Monster Madness. This madness will be available on February 14th. What does it entail? Well, it's a box. You get this box, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's made of really good solid cardboard. You can really keep someone in this box if you wanted to, or maybe your lichness. But inside this box, it's got everything that you need to play Dungeon Mayhem. It can hold all of the expansions. You can see from this kind of pull out here, it can hold out everything that has been produced for Dungeon Mayhem so far. And it also includes new character decks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new characters. Count them up. They are amazing. I love the way they have been portrayed. They all have fun names. I'm not going to list them all here because I'm sure I'll get them wrong. But here are some alternate takes on them on the box as well. You can play as these characters and mix and match with any of the previously released Dungeon Mayhem character decks. As well as there are rules in here now for playing with up to 6 characters. Can you check it out? It is pretty fun, and I think it's going to be great. And that's right. I love the flower pot. I was hoping somebody noticed that. This is a flower pot right there as the mimic. I'm blanking on the character's name actually, but you know what? That's why I have all this handy dandy stuff right here in front of me. Because the names were some of the best that I've ever seen. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. Maybe I'll get to it one day. Monster Madness. Nope, not on here. Great. Monster Mayhem. Mayhem and Monsters. I don't know. We'll get it. Well, I'll let you know all of them. Yep, no, they're really, really great. The Jelly Cube is one of my favorites, as well as the Mimic, as I said. February 14th is Valentine's Day. Did you guys know that? What better way to say I love you than by giving your partner a little box where you can keep all of your monster Dungeon Mayhem and get 6 new monsters to play with. So make it happen, folks. Your loved ones demand it of you. They demand it. I did have well, I didn't actually wear a choker. Was that Kayla that asked me about that? I wasn't actually wearing it. I'm not allowed to take these off of the cardboard just because it's hard to get them back on. But there are some amazing things that I want to show you very soon. Let me just get that information up here. All right, so these are available in Hot Topic. This is some jewelries. Look at those beauteousness. Oh, they're interchangeable charm necklace. That's right. So you got the D20 right here. That is an awesome looking choker. And then if you can, I don't know if you can read it. I'm trying to get it as close as I can while still being in focus. Maybe I should just stop moving. It says air elemental, earth elemental, fire elemental. Oh, there we go. There we go. We're focused. We're focused, people. Yes. Look at those. These are available now from Hot Topic. There's also some earrings. Will you focus? Will you focus? Look at those. The price points for all of these, I'm told, is around $10. And they look beautiful. I love that these say 13 plus. I'm going to tell you, there will be people who will buy these who will be less than 13 years old. I'm just saying, maybe my kids. Here's another. These are, it's a D20 with some kind of turquoise lapis lazuli looking type thing right there. And then finally, everyone needs a little more health in their lives with this amulet of health. I mean, that just matches my shirt very well. What do you think? Think I look good? Think I should just wear it like this? Really cool looking stuff. Again, these are all around $10, available in Hot Topic right now. They even have some copy here that I'm not going to read to you. But they look awesome, and I can't wait. I love seeing this type of stuff out there in the wild. So please, if you do pick these up at a Hot Topic in a mall near you, take some pictures with it and show me on Twitter, because I think they look awesome, and I can't wait to see them in the wild. It's also very funny because as a child, I used to go into Hot Topic all the time. I used to call it the vampire store. It's where vampires go to shop and get all the supplies that they need. And now, soon I will be a vampire and go to get all of these necklaces and for my girls. That's pretty much what's going to happen. I'll also wear them too. Who knows? We'll see. Oh, I still go into Hot Topic. I don't want to say like I don't go into Hot Topic now, but when I was a kid, I used to go to the mall a lot more often because that was all I could do when I could hang out. I was a mall rat, and I would go there and get all the stuff that I needed. All right, I'm going to show you guys one quick video that I saw online that made me laugh a lot. It is really cool, and it made me immediately think of taming things as a D&D person. So you might have seen this. I'm not sure who this is from the thing, so don't let me know about this. But did you see this video? It is adorable, and I'm going to play it for you in its entirety. I saw a truncated version of this, but it is even better in its entirety. Oh, does that not work? It doesn't work when I go to the PC from there. Let me try a different button. How about that? No. Maybe if I just play it, it'll do it. Aww. Hey, Pelham. Dang it. I wanted to show you guys it in its entirety in case you hadn't seen it, but many of you said you saw it already, so never mind. You live on Twitter just like I do, but there's people out there who don't. In case you were wondering, oh no, am I like dead now? Okay, no, I'm back. It is of that little chipmunk taming its little kitten friend and riding it very much like a druid or barbarian would tame its mount. I love it. I think it's very cool. We shall see if you will be able to watch it in the future. But speaking of watching things, it is now time for... Sorry. Speaking of watching things, That's see, I'm very rusty. I'm getting back into the swing of things. Now I'll say, speaking of watching things, it is now time for DandD Rewind.
It's okay to come back in here and just touch that up. Catch that afterwards. Got some on his shirt. Gonna use a brush I hadn't used yet. Try and move it around. If you muck it up, just add some water and it'll come off with a clean brush. There we go. Come right off. Get the rest of the neck here if I can without mucking up too much else of it. And then I'll add some flesh wash in there too, once that's had just a chance to dry a little bit. Go flesh wash on the skin on his hands. May do a highlight on the hands, we'll see after the fact. Flesh wash on the other hand. Just want to make sure I capture all of the techniques here, folks, for the VOD after, in case that's where you'll be seeing it. Again, all the VODs go onto the DandD YouTube and the Realmsmith YouTube as well, so you can catch them at both places. Okay, that is the flesh wash done. Okay, then after the flesh wash is done, I'm going to add another black wash again to the hair. I'm out of black wash on the palette. Okay, just adding, like I said, some more black so that this hair looks black and not blue or gray. Also adding one more wash to the beard, trying not to get it on the flesh areas. There.
And it gets a 25 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
It deals you 13 slashing damage.
Ow. Ow.
And in your mind you hear, "Are you even trying? These pitiful servants of Tiamat are no match for us. Crush it!"
You're my shield. Do more better.
I'm doing everything I can.
Well,
me more!
When I
Maybe
picked
if
you
you
up,
were
I
a
thought
stupid
you were going to
fire
be a
shield, I
+2
would
shield.
be fine.
Listen, maybe if there wasn't so much surface area for me to defend, I'm just saying if you could consider going on a diet, maybe.
I am
easier to keep.
beautiful and
I'm a very
tall,
large
and he
shield.
just
I don't know
smacks
how
the shield into the wall.
Okay, yeah. So Gargoth is cut off from being slammed into the wall. There's just this like ringing sound, and he's just like, bah. Excellent. Okay, and then the Abishai's cultist friends, they fall in to attack, except this one who comes around the corner and then charges towards you, November. Don't
worry, the cultist guys are really, really weak.
yes, they are. So Bryn, this cultist, waves his scimitar at you in your general direction and gets a 5 and does not hit. This time you have to dodge. It's almost as if your shield is actively trying not to hurt, like get in the way. Like you go to put the shield up in the way, and it's just like a magnet, like it's just to pull away from you.
I will melt you down and turn you to slag.
I'd like to see you try.
With each line, they begin to disrobe, drawing a ritual circle into the ground. Then, with daggers, stab each other into the stomach and begin cutting open their abdomens upward in a single stroke. Blood pours from their bodies, filling the intricate lines in the sand.
Suddenly, a large black cloven hoof pours out from where their entrails should be. From their arched backs, screaming up to the heavens, you see massive tendrils writhing out from their mouths, ripping their jaws in two. The black, leathery masses begin to intertwine together from each cultist as their heads list back, dangling lifelessly. The form that bursts from their bodies has no face or eyes, but its cylindrical body is rigid, ringed with gaping and whistling mouths. Long, grasping tentacles wave madly from its dorsal side, slapping together like a dying fish flopping on a pile of carcasses as it stands on 3 massive hooves.
He looks at you guys and he smiles and he says, "Hey guys, I was just doing my job. But I guess it's time for some overtime." And
that's a pretty cool thing to say, actually.
This whole season has been an action flick.
That's pretty cool.
For it.
I'm going to make fun of that guy. That'd be really cool, the way he said it. Now it's time for some overtime. That's pretty good.
It's like such a Danny Glover.
I'm too old for this. Rin! It's just a
Rin! So I retreat. I would stay away from these. Okay, yes, I agree. We should probably go in the other direction.
Are you saying the mist is out to get us?
Well, what I can say for sure is that this is the first time, though I'm a ranger, that I ever seen mist reach out back at me. So I will go.
Let me try something. Can I just pick up a stone and toss it through?
Yeah,
through the mist?
you're on the other side of the road.
I don't know.
Did you not see what happened when I did the waving with my hands?
Perhaps if you had listened to me when I told you that there's some intelligence driving this mist.
How would you know that at this point?
Well, it's very clear. It's been following us.
Like
stops
mist?
when we stop, follows when we follow.
Like when mist follows a boat into the port? Yes.
I guess so.
Strange, right? No, I do believe though there's tendrils or something.
Let me try. I'm just gonna swipe my hand through it once.
I want to look around to see what else is around us. Is it like a continuing road?
Yeah,
past the gates?
Yeah, it just travels for maybe 50 feet and then veers off to the right.
Right.
You do the same thing, and it just disperses and it comes back. Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
You swipe like this, and it swipes through, and it's this heavy fog, and it's weird. It's like almost like a wall of fog. You swipe like this, and it disperses. You, for a second, almost glimpse what you imagine is a silhouette standing in that mist, and then it comes back.
Oh. It's like there's someone in there. Were you followed?
Hello, welcome back. That was a wonderful DandD Rewind. There was a lot of fun things to discuss, but then I just said it all in the chat anyway, so never mind. That was more like a stream of consciousness way to communicate. I was like live tweeting, and I don't even know what was going on, but I enjoyed it. I was able to actually hear what was going on there without headphones on, so then I was like, oh, I can make it all happen. And then I did a quick change. Check this out. Okay, so this is a new sweatshirt that you can purchase. Here, I'm trying to, it's like not centered for some reason. You can purchase, it is at the Enfuego store. You can get this at Enfuego. I don't know what Enfuego is, but I'm pretty sure it is on fire. It's a store. Oh, and we have a late stuff. We got a more stuff that you can get. Is this also from Enfuego?
This is from Funko.
What? Check these out. Look at, I'm throwing them down everywhere, but look at this. Thank you to Pelham for the special delivery here. But these are the pop figures for Dungeons & Dragons that you can get now. These thank you for putting that in the chat there. That's where you can get the D&D sweatshirt. It's at Shop Fuego. So that's the easy way to do it. But look at it. You can get a pop figure of a Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer. We all know no one ever takes these out of the box, but there is them. You got Minsk and Boo hanging out with you. What do you think? Pretty cool. I like those guys. And then the one I threw on the floor here is everyone's favorite archdevil, Asmodeus. I like his horns. He's got really strong looking horns there. And I can't wait for people to see these everywhere. Cool stuff. Always a amazing thing to see pop figures of my favorite brands. There's all 3 of them there that you can get right now. This I didn't know this until pretty recently, but Pop is here in Seattle, so that's a cool thing. They were pretty excited to come up with ways to license our D&D kind of properties, and these are 3 of the more prominent things coming out there. Obviously, a little bit more 2019 themed, I guess we could say, with the Asmodeus, and Minsk and Boo is definitely very Baldur's Gate-y. The Mind Flayer, well, not necessarily focused in anything other than the Baldur's Gate trailer, but that's a pretty big butt right there. So, I mean, did I just say that? Did those come out of here? Pretty good, and it is pretty fine, as they say. Thank you for that. Again, this T-shirt is at Shop Fuego. I've been wearing one somewhat similar in design to this, but much different artwork that was red, and it had some symbols on there, which my wife immediately stole and started wearing over the break. Maybe just because it was a bright red, but she loved it, and you will too if you can check it out. I think that's also at Shop Fuego. But let me confirm that actually as I'm doing that. So we've got a lot of fun stuff. Obviously, things that you may not have even known about. We've got the jewelry that we talked about. These pop figures. I think they had mentioned this, but this is the first time that we've been able to see them. I won't take them out of the boxes right now, but maybe I'll do that on a future time. There is also lots of fun stuff that are coming from our partners other than just this. So Beetle and Grimm's makes amazing boxed sets of our D&D adventures. The last 2 major adventures that have been released in September have had platinum editions. You may remember the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus Platinum Edition, as well as the Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It's got tons of artifacts, as well as artwork specifically commissioned, and lots of tools for the Dungeon Master in your life to run those adventures with lots of aplomb and amazingness. There are smaller editions, or not smaller, but like less valuable. I don't know. We've had the silver edition for Ghost of Saltmarsh, and they recently announced, well, maybe not so recently, but somewhat recently, the gold edition for Eberron Rising from the Last War. Those are going to ship in February. I don't have an exact update for that right now. But they will be taking pre-orders right now. So jump into it if you are excited to play through Eberron Rising from the Last War. In DandD Rewind, you might have seen Jason Azevedo from Realmsmith using Sirenscape audio during his playthrough of that, and that is very amazing tool. You can download it for free right now at Sirenscape.com. They have tons of sound packs available for all types of generic fantasy as well as science fiction, but they have specific sound packs that have been developed for some of our adventures, including Ghost of Saltmarsh and Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus sound pack will be coming very soon, if not already. I've listened to some previews of those, and what's great about Sirenscape is that it is a limited interface for dungeon mastering. So when you're in the middle of playing a game, you can hit notes, especially if you get better and more attuned to it. Luckily I have a touchscreen laptop that I can use, but it works really well on an iPad or something else with a touchscreen, or just as a click and mouse if that's the way you use your PC at the gaming table. But it plays music and uses an algorithm so that sound effects don't repeat over and over again in a way that's very predictable for your players. It's genius. It's wonderful. You can also customize those sound sets to your liking. If you're like, hey, I don't really like this dragon scream. A dragon scream? What would a dragon scream like? I don't know. I should ask Benjamin Looms and see if he can figure that out. Lots of people from the Dungeons & Dragons team recorded voices as well as sound effects for the Sirenscape. And then folks like you also might have recorded some of those music and sound effects. One of the fun things that Sirenscape does is go to gaming events and conventions with a sound booth and creates lots of recordings for use in these sound packs, and they're amazing. So check them out if you haven't already. I am not currently running Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus. I'm playing in it, but if I were running it, I would check out that sound pack and jump into it. I've been using it for my Waterdeep Dragon Heist game, and it is a plus, people. A plus. There are also tons of Ultra Pro figurines of adorable power. I've mentioned these a couple of times in the past, but they are fantastic. There's an owlbear and a red dragon. There's also a very rare white owlbear that's available out there if you can find it. They are, I don't want to say dissimilar from these PopCap things, but very, very awesome. There's also, and I also like to show these off as much as I can because I think they look great. They are these leggings from Bangarang. These are available everywhere. Wildbangarang.com. They're Dungeons & Dragons leggings, and I have heard nothing but good things about them, and you should pick them up if you can. Good stuff. We also have really amazing sorry, I wanted to make sure I get this correct so that you don't stop hearing me. I want to go to videos and then play this for you. I think you can hear me over this, but if not, let me know. But these are an amazing product out there, still available for you. The D&D Anniversary Dice Sapphire Dice Set. These go and are amazing. There is, as you can see, a lab-grown sapphire still over. Sorry, thank you for letting me know that you can actually hear me now. This lab-grown sapphire is on one of the D20s. It's more than 1 carat in weight. That is a lot of sapphire. These sets are $300, and they not only include this sapphire dice, there's 10 other dices that you can have on there. They are. There's all of them in their glory. Their ampersand is on there. They're aluminum, so many of you may have some of the heavier metal styled dice. I've used those in the past and I love them, but if you roll them on maps such as the Waterdeep map that I showed in the Laeral Silverhands Explorer kit, heavy dice will damage those. So I always like to use plastic and or these aluminum dice, which are not extremely heavy, although they do have that awesome metal look to them, and I love them. There's a signed note from the D&D team thanking you for 45 years of fandom for Dungeons & Dragons. It's 1974 was when Dungeons & Dragons was first published by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson from TSR. That's 45 years ago, and it's been 5 years since D&D 5th edition was released in 2014, so we had a lot to celebrate in 2019, and we're hoping you are able to pick up some of those dice if you do it. Yes, to answer the questions here and there, the gem is not mined. It is lab grown, meaning it is synthetic, but they are more valuable, and then you don't have all the impact of having it being mined and having questionable commercial practices about that there. So the gnome really does it. It's not, I like to say it's made in a lab, but it's a gnome lab with lots of tinkering. Magical spells are used. I'm pretty sure maybe they've sacrificed a few squirrels, or maybe it's the kitten and chipmunk that are in that other video. No, they didn't sacrifice those to make those dice. I promise. Also, I'm not a witch or a lich or a lich witch in the mist. Some other fun things that are going on is Warriors of Waterdeep is a game that has been out for a bunch, and I have been loving it. It's one of those things that you can do when you're traveling or with your family. It is a strategy game, like a turn-based strategy game with some role-playing elements. You recruit a party into going on adventures. You can replay. I won't say it's like full of. There's a lot of story in there, but you have to kind of mix and match what you're going to do in order to get farther, and then try to make it as long as you can and earn more items to make yourself powerful. It's basically D&D, but there is a lot of strategy to it. If you're into turn-based strategy games, like I am, with the XComs and the civilizations out there, it fulfills a very specific niche for me, and it's a great way to interact with some fun D&D type things in small doses. And there's a lot of stuff out there, so jump into it. There's a lot of new content in Warriors of Waterdeep that is going to be coming out there. I'm just gonna tease that out for you. There's also some other really fun stuff that's coming from Dungeons and Dragons to be announced for reals. I won't be able to talk about it right here, but it will be talked about next week's D&D news. That's right. I can promise you that we will be talking about an even more exciting thing next week. You may have seen an Amazon page listing that has a announcement to date for this Thursday, which is January 9th. There will not be an announcement on January 9th. I don't want anybody to get too hung up on that date. There was just kind of a misnomer getting into the weeds about how computers work. But it's not as simple to change a web page as you might think. Just throwing that out there. We have lots of magic spells at our disposal, but we're not able to do that. But we will be having fun announcements next week, definitely here for D&D News. And I want to spill the beans so bad, Joan in one. I really do. But unfortunately, I cannot. It would just be bad form. My dear sir, how dare you tempt me to the dark side? You're not even offering me anything. It's like you gotta be better. You gotta be more Asmodeus-like and offer me something if you're going to try and tempt me to do something evil like that. But Dragon Talk will be popping off this Friday. We are returning. It's been a while since me and Shelly has been behind the map, whatever you want to say. I don't know. But it is going to be exciting. We're talking to Wolfgang Bauer, Kobold-in-Chief himself. He is a friend of the show. We've had him on many, many times. I'm excited to hear about what his house is publishing for 5th edition in 2020. I know he's got a lot he wants to talk about, and Wolfgang is an old friend. He's been here at TSR and Dungeons & Dragons for a long time, so we'll pick his brain about everything about those 45 years of history that have been going on. So that's going to be really exciting. All right, everyone, I am going to close it down a bit early. I think I've talked about everything I can. You are all very exciting. I want to go into 2020 being excited about what's going on with the Dungeons & Dragons community. I enjoy it. You all are super creative. Everything you do inspires me to create more and fun stuff out there. And we're going to be doing more of it in 2020 and beyond. It's going to be great. Oh, I forgot to talk about one last thing. Since it's actually one of the biggest things that we've announced, which is Dark Alliance. That's right. Dark Alliance is a video game that is coming on consoles and PCs in 2020. PC, not meaning player character, but meaning personal computer. It is a co-op action game, 4 players. You may have seen the trailer that was shown during the Game Awards in December, hosted by Jeff Keighley. But it is starring 4 companions, you may know. I showed a picture of one of them earlier in the Laeral Silverhands Explorers kit, but that's just Do'Orden, Brunner, Battlehammer, Caddy and Wolfgar are the 4 playable heroes in Dark Alliance. You'll be able to bash some monsters together with a 4-person co-op. What's great about that is not only can you play co-op online, like it's pretty standard in a lot of multiplayer games right now, you can play on the couch together, 4 people, and that is really D&D to a T, bringing people together. to bash some monsters and hopefully have a great time doing so. The whole game is designed around jumping into it and jumping out, and being able to have a very action RPG oriented experience. The animations look great. The artwork and general feel of the game look amazing. Check out the trailer if you haven't checked it out yet. I'll be showing it on here soon. Do I have it here? No, I do not. Which seems like a mess. We'll get that on here and show it to you when we can. The trailer has got some soundtrack in it that may not be indicative of the final soundtrack of the game, but it is very exciting. And if you want to jump in and swing a battle hammer or Drist's double scimitars, you can certainly do so in Dark Alliance, coming in 2020, published by Wizards of the Coast. That's right, we are publishing our first video game, well, other than Magic Arena, but our first D&D video game. It is being developed by Took Games. They are a house in Montreal. They're developing it right now, and it is going to be fantabulous. I love all the ability to jump in and smash some things. Kind of think of it as this generation's Gauntlet. Did anybody play Gauntlet, where you popped in your quarters and you were running around in a top-down feel, and there was the cleric and the archer and all those things, and you needed to be able to do it. The story was a little bit light, but you were able to jump in and play. That's a lot about what Dark Alliance is, the flavor, feel of what Dark Alliance is going to be all about. So I'm really excited about it, and it's set in Icewind Dale, which I mentioned also on one of those cards from Laeral Silverhand's Explorers Pack. And I'm excited to go back to the Frozen North with Dark Alliance and see what it's all about. All right, everybody. Now, for reals, I'm going to end. You're fantastic. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Greg Tito. Ask me any questions you might want or have. I'll answer what I can. There's definitely stuff I can't answer, but love to interact with everybody out there. And I hope everyone has a great first week back, if that is the case for you at work. If it's the third week back, I'm sorry. And if you had no break whatsoever, maybe you at least got to play some Dungeons & Dragons and roll some dice. I'm going to go do that myself. You guys are the best. I'll see you next week or on Friday for Dragon Talk, when me and Shelly talk to Wolfgang Bauer. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.